wisdom that
just 1 minute.
Arnab, let us not call it sentimental or emotional. This is neither sentimental nor emotional. It's a matter of profanity and sacredness. So let us not just call it emotional and sentimental. It is a profane act. It is a matter of highest sacredness.
I don't know why it's not been taken up legally.
It can be.
I don't know why it hasn't.
No,
I don't know since when, by which legal logic, which lawyer can argue today that the blood spilt by an assassin of the father of the nation can be considered to be anyone else's personal property.
True.
I mean, this argument that this is someone's personal property is so violently unacceptable, isn't it, Alec? It's so violently unacceptable.
That's absolute.
And
absolutely impossible to believe that this is going on. And as I said earlier, any assassin who has killed someone and then the blood of the person that he has killed is then auctioned. It's impossible. I mean, even if I'm saying anyone's blood, I'm not even talking about the father of the nation, which of course we respect, but anyone's blood, someone who's been assassinated, is collected and then sold at an auction. And the whole thing is so, what shall I say? It offends my sensibilities.
I also wonder here, while we are discussing this tonight, that while there are so many things that actually divide us, that polarize opinion, why this issue cannot actually put the whole country together? You know, why everyone cannot come together and start a movement to stop this from happening?
No, now that you...
To question those who've done
this. Now that your channel is initiated, I'm sure there'll be a huge outcry and a movement. But all this while, nobody knew.
Well, I'm putting it in the public opinion. Yes. I'm putting it out for public debate. I'm asking...
Absolutely.
And Tara Gandhi Bhattacharya, my question is to you as a member of the family. Would you take the lead in perhaps petitioning the government? As Rajiv Vora says, as Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar says, take this forward, stop what has happened from repeating itself, and also ensuring that this relic, I don't want to call it blood soaked with soil, that this relic is brought back home and either immersed in the rivers or dealt with in a proper, humane and, you know, acceptable manner. Yes. Tara Gandhi Bhattacharya, what do you think?
This, as Shri Rajiv Vora said, that we don't even know whether this is authentic or not. But apart from that, whether it is authentic or not, if there is some soil soaked in blood with grass in it and in the name of Gandhi, it should only be immersed in the oceans and the rivers in any part of the world. And as Gandhi belongs today to the entire humanity, we cannot compare him to other leaders. They are all great leaders that have been mentioned here. But still Gandhi belongs to humanity in a way that probably very few or nobody does. And I do not agree with the statement that there is a difference of opinion or a lack of understanding in the West about Gandhi, or outside India is one feeling and in India there is another feeling. In India we also have a limited vision of Gandhi, because certain things in the West it is a rage. The search for Gandhi is enormous all over the world. It's a global phenomenon. And every case is special and has to be dealt with in a particular way. You can't compare one attitude that we have for a manuscript. It cannot be the same attitude for a pair of spectacles. And of course, this thing will go multiplying, and we cannot stop the duplication of such items. We don't even know whether they are authentic or not. And in the end, it's extremely ironical that a man who was... Yes. But there is. It will come. Now the cure is, of course, spreading the message through embassies, through people, through media, that such things should not be done. And because it's ironical to sell the things of a man who dedicated his entire life in disowning, in dropping all his material possessions. In the end, he was left with very few items. And when he had an extra pencil to write with, or an extra piece of cloth, he would give it away to people. Not that people did not offer him items, things, but he immediately gave away. And they're all over the world in possession of individuals and institutions and museums. I also do not agree to the fact that every item should be brought to India. If they are preserved anywhere on planet Earth, we have to be grateful for that. We are not very great at preservation, yet we have the right to preserve some things that we have, and it is our duty to preserve them.
Yes, but
so
it is
this also is not a rule. It is not a rule that every item should be brought back to India.
Ms. Bhattacharya, I understand
So
that,
this
but
is-
tonight it's also become
Yes.
a question of national pride. You see, I am only asking
National
today as a
pride.
citizen.
Yes.
I'm asking you as a citizen, ma'am. Please allow me.
As a
that
citizen,
today,
okay.
my question to you is today, let's take any other great country. And any founding father or great leader or icon of any other great country. Would the blood of any great icon of any great nation be sold with such callousness? There is no fear in that auction house in London. There is no fear at all.
Of course
we
not.
can take
No,
chances
of
with
course not.
with India. That is, we can take any chance. We would not do. No other country's national leader would be desecrated in the manner we have allowed Mahatma Gandhi to be desecrated. Whether or not people idolize Mahatma Gandhi or not,
I don't know.
this is amounts to
I don't
desecration.
know, Mr. Arnab, whether we have allowed it or it happened without our knowledge. But let me direct the entire enthusiasm we have and all our energies towards another side. What about the preservation of Gandhian values in our hearts, in our work, in our life?
I take your
Isn't
point.
that more important today?
Of course it is.
Isn't that more important than spending all our energies on this? Because how can we stop today the multiplication of all the items?
But which is why
And
I said
again
at
having
the start,
auctions.
Ms. Bhattacharya, which is why I said at the start, you know, I'm not making a big deal or asking the government to go hammer and tongs to get back all the other items of memorabilia. The only part which has hurt people is the selling of soil spilt with Gandhi's blood in his dying moments. Blood spilt by an assassin, somebody picks that up and that is being sold. That has hurt people somewhere, hasn't it, Alec? That's the point. There's
Okay,
no...
so now as someone said,
Hello.
Alec.
Mr. Arnab, let me say this. As someone said,
everybody agrees.
Hello.
Yeah, what's
as
Let Tara
someone
Bhattacharya
said
complete and then I
that,
Yeah.
as someone said, that
Arnab,
it is never
everybody
too
agrees
late.
on that
Let us-
point. I think that point is well made.
Okay, Alec Padamshi wants to
That
come in.
even if
The
it is
point is so well made. that
Alec
the
Padamshi.
state should have- The Foreign Office should have gone and stopped this, because this is not allowed. This is not allowed at all.
It's not
And
allowed.
The Foreign Office should have been there. It's what had happened to the sensitivity of the Foreign Office.
And we vowed
It
not
was
to let
there.
it happen.
The presence was there.
We vowed. We
Now
vowed we
have
would
to
not
go
let it
and-
happen.
May I
go
say-
and get
Alec.
back. This is simple.
Yes.
We all have to make an effort. and
Arnab,
get
we are
back
doing
particular
post-mortem
relief
now.
and-
We are doing the post-mortem so that this doesn't repeat itself.
But what's the point of doing post-mortem now? But you should have known, let the government of India say when did they come to know about this auction.
The
moment
government
they
of
came to
India,
know about it, they should
I have
gone
just,
to the auctioneer and stopped it.
the government of India in 2009 said we will not allow Gandhi's memorabilia to be sold. I don't know whether they
No,
can
but
today
Arnab,
say
what
blood
about
does
this?
not amount to
What
memorabilia.
has been auctioned today? When did they come to know
did
about
government
it?
of India say that if
They should have stopped it immediately.
No, sorry.
They should have
Did
brought this
government
stay
of India
on the
make
auction
it
house
clear?
that hold the...
No.
Arnab, I think the government has failed the people of India.
Well, if it has
I
failed,
think
then
the government has
beauty of
failed
the
the people
government
of
and
India,
the
and it
embassy
can
there
correct it.
concerned,
No,
they have
not
immediately
ultimatum.
brought
We will-
this to the
Alec,
notice and stopped it.
quick point to Alec. What should be done now? To Alec Padamshi, last word tonight.
May I say,
What
may I
would
say
be done
something?
now?
Yeah,
May I
Alec,
say something?
Alec, please.
If I can
I
say
would
a
say
word.
that
Alec.
I would say
Yeah, Alec.
I
Hello,
don't know.
ma'am.
Yes,
You mind
Alec.
if I
May I say?
talk?
Alec, please, I'll come back to
Yeah,
you for the
you
last
mind?
word, Ms. Bhattacharya. Alec.
Yeah, all right. I'm just saying that now that the deed has been done and the auction is over, all the government of India has to do is to go to the auctioneers and go to the buyer and say, look, this is a very sacred thing in India and all the people are very upset, and we would be most gratified if you could return it to us, and any financial damage that has happened, if you feel, we
We'll
will
take care of
certainly compensate you, but the blood of the father of
Absolutely,
the
I agree.
nation belongs to the nation whose father he is.
Exactly. Yes, Tara Bhattacharya, you second that tonight?
Yes, I would like to say, more or less in the same spirit, that it is not too late, it is really not late, and we can appeal to the man who has bought it to have it immersed in the nearest ocean or the river.
Absolutely.
Which would be an example for future.
If he doesn't, then it will be proof that that person too is commoditizing
proof.
which cannot be allowed.
Yes.
Which cannot be allowed.
Which
Which is
cannot be
illegal.
allowed.
Which cannot be
And-
allowed. Which cannot be allowed.
No.
We're putting the story in the public domain. As I always say, our job here on the News Hour is to put the issue in the public domain. I hope those who can do something are listening. And if the person who has bought the soil and grass soaked with Gandhi's blood has access to this program tonight, think about it. Because what you have bought is not your personal property, whatever price you may have paid for it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on that news.